I don't love telling this story, but I mean, I thought you knew the story because I hid out at the Comedy Store for a minute. But I got in trouble. I got in trouble with like, let's not say LA, let's say a different city. But
Okay.
I got into it one night with a guy at a comedy spot, an offbeat comedy spot, not the Comedy Store. I got into it with a guy. We went head to head. I was, in shape, boxing. I grew up boxing. I love boxing. And in my mind, I was like, this guy's a pit bull. I have to hit him first. I swung. I hit this dude. I got him on the ground. I basically got him really pretty badly. And that was it. It was done. Turns out he was a very connected dude and a bad guy. I didn't know
who training day shit, bro.
Yeah,
this is training
connected
day.
Like to gangs or to like organized crime kind
syndicate,
of shit?
organized crime.
Shit.
Family to the
Russian?
East. No, to the East Coast.
Okay.
And he was connected. I didn't know that until he was on the ground, and I got whisked out of the place, and I was told by my boy, yo, bro, you basically just hit like the John Gotti Jr. of this town. Oof. He's like, they're like, you got to go home. I can't, by the way, I feel like I have so many stories that I can't, they almost sound not true, but this is what happened.
But this is what I was saying. This is what I love about you, because like I've been friends with you for like 10, years or whatever, even though you kind of cut me out of your web series, which we'll talk about later. We did some research, but if I was connected, it wouldn't have happened. But I don't know this story. And I don't know a lot of the stories that you're kind of holding into your coat.
The short end of the story is basically, I ended up hurting this guy. I caught him right here. I ruptured his eardrum. Oof. I had no idea. I run through the neighborhood after they tell me who he is. I start to like remember hearing stories about this person. I run through the neighborhood. I pop out onto a street. I go to a comedy club where all our friends, Mo, they're there.
Well, thank you so much for doing that. Like fucking, I'm waiting around to go up at fucking 12 a.m. at the Comedy Store, and then all of a sudden you expose me to like a possible drive-by. Like me and you were shooting.
I'll never forget, man. Sam Tripoli was the first person that saw me. He's like, dude, what happened? I got like scratch marks on my neck. My hair's crazy. I'm like, yo, they're looking for me. Next thing I know, it's weird talking about this because it got so serious. But
when was this, by the way?
13, 14 years ago.
Okay, so I was
before I met you, but
yeah,
I don't know where you were.
A couple years before I came down, yeah.
So I'm hiding out, and I'm getting phone calls on my phone. Yo, you need to go to Detroit for 3 weeks. Let this blow over. Shit. This guy's not letting this go. You got to get out of town. Da 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 da. So I'm hearing this, and I'm thinking, I got to go to Detroit. I got to leave town. So I decide I'm not leaving town because I already know that I heard him, and he's going to do what he's got to do. And at some point, I'm going to have to face this music in whatever way I can. So it gets to, I know I have a friend of mine who's like a bookmaker, and he sets it up to where he thinks he can get me just a sit down apology in the middle of the day. It's going to be apology. I'm going to apologize in the middle of the day in a public place.
Okay. I was going to say, it's going to be on mutual turf.
Mutual turf.
And what was the fight over? And where was it?
I was on the stage doing my thing.
This happened at a club?
At a night. I don't like it was like a night of comedy.
Okay.
Comedy and karaoke.
That's a dangerous
great mix.
combo.
Great mix.
I look out, boom, dude gets in a fight. He headbutts a guy goes flying past me while I'm holding the mic. I put the mic down. I go right into like save the place mode. I was like, yo, buddy, relax. What are you doing? Calm down. He's like, get out of here. I'll kill you. Do you know who I am? He's like waving over my head like this. And the second I had where I could have either like just walked away and let it be nothing, my stupid brain was like, if you just hit him and calm everything down, we'll just go on with a great night.
You just had a flashback to your dad beating the shit out of that kid. You're just like, dude, this was meant to be.
If only YouTube was bigger at this time, like if this would have got filmed, you would be like a huge stand-up star right now. Guy gets out of the crowd, just beats the fuck out of an audience member.
I'd be selling out arenas.
Let's recreate that. I'll put on like a wig or something and just beat the fuck out of me.
You have no idea how crazy this got. So it happens on a Wednesday. I'm set up for a sit down on a Monday. I call my brother back in Detroit. I call my godfather. I tell everybody what's happening. My brother's kind of iffy on if I should go in. My godfather's like, listen, Michael, you disrespected him. He's going to have to save face. If you want to just come back to Detroit and stay here, you're good. But you could face the music and it's on you, basically. And so my boy convinces me that I just have to sit down and apologize. Now the comedian brain never turns off. So for 4 days, I'm sending him flowers. I'm sending gifts, T-shirts. University of Arizona, where I went to school, I'm sending him like hoodies.
You were sending him like merch and stuff?
Merch. I'm sending him like apology letters. Bro, I'm apologizing.
Dude, this is my Comedy Central Premium Blend. I put it on vinyl.
Mo, Monday comes. I meet my boy. We get in my car. We go to the spot for the meeting. It's a public place, but on this particular day, the newsstand shut down. Everything on that corner is shut down.
Oh, fuck.
Nobody's moving. We walk in the back of the place. I open the front door is padlocked, and like it's kind of like the tarp or whatever is pulled down. It's padlocked. We walk around the side. My boy's behind me. I walk in. Right away, I just see the dude. Like, boom, he's right there. He's in an Under Armour tank turtleneck, and he's just waiting like right at the door. And I immediately, I'm just like, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. I didn't know who you were. I apologize. I'll work for free at your, whatever you want. I'm just mumbling and I'm terrified. And this is like a sad, scary part of the story. And he says, don't worry about it. He's like, walk in here. And he aims me into like a bigger area of the room. And there's two giant dudes, Mexican dudes with handlebar mustaches, hats pulled down, sunglasses, and they both have 9mm, and they're just holding them, like just dangling them, like pacing back and forth, dangling them. And so I'm just basically having the thought of like, my first thought is like, I cannot have my family here in Detroit. They can't hear that I got killed, in the middle of the day by getting shot, like in the chest. Like that was really a thought I had. So I'm looking at the gorilla.
Because that wouldn't like be a good way to go out kind of thing.
Because I can't have my mom be heartbroken over the fact that her kid just died.
Right. Also, if you're from like Detroit scrap metal land, you go to Hollywood and then get killed, it's kind of like, come on, dude.
Come on, bro.
You could have stayed here and done that.
You should have walked in with the gun.
Right.
I was so stupid. So I'm looking, and and this is where like the mind is really playing tricks. But I'm seeing the gun, and the guns are like they're being held like loosely. So I'm thinking like if I could swoop the gun out of the hand of one of the guys, and I could just get him, and then I could get everybody. This is what my mind was.
This is the screenwriter in you.
Yeah, this is you.
Yo,
I'm gonna kick that guy.
Straight up superhero thoughts are going through me. None of that happened. They put me in a booth. They slammed a table up against me, and they just went to work on me. And they beat the shit out of me and tuned me up and broke my face. And I got 27 stitches, broken nose, chipped orbital, sliced up, stitches, beat me unconscious. And it was really, really, really bad. And I went out, I was pretty much after the first punch. I remember feeling the first blow, because I was like, damn, like I was thinking, what a great punch. Like this guy's got a great shot. Like this guy's got a heavy hand. The first punch went. Everything after that just felt like tick, 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 like just like little ticks, because your adrenaline is here and you're not feeling anything real.
And all three of these guys are just wailing on you.
I'm not seeing anything right now. So I'm just like feeling it. My eyes are blown out, and I definitely went out for a second, because minutes later I kind of came to, and I was sort of just breathing. And in my mind, I started feeling my legs to make sure they were like intact, and I felt my arms. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, this is how crazy I was. I'm thinking, oh, I got him. Like he thinks he got me, but I'm totally fine. I'm thinking I'm totally fine. I feel nothing, no pain, nothing. I'm like, I got him. I have no idea that my face is like the Elephant Man, and I'm a mess. And basically I kind of wake out of it. I'm still mumbling, and I'm like basically going, why, man? Like, why? And he goes, stand up. And he stands me up, and my shirt is covered with blood. And he goes, give me your shirt. And they take my shirt and they give me a t-shirt that they already had waiting, like a fresh, brand new t-shirt. And I put the t-shirt on. I remember smelling the t-shirt, and just like a thick, uncomfortable t-shirt.
You're like, wait, this is one of my stand-up shirts I sent him earlier in the week. You're like, oh, that's rude.
That'd be great, Mo, if that happened. Now, maybe I'll use it, because I haven't been able to write a bit about any of this, because it just was too serious.
Jesus Christ. This is terrifying, man. I mean, it sounds like you were close to not being here.
I was close. Long story short, shorter than it should have, whatever. They basically say, give me your license and your cell phone. I give them my license and my cell phone. They hold on to it. That's like their way of saying, we know where you live, you know? So they hold that. I'm still apologizing. He's like, get the fuck out of here. I start walking out the door to the back. I'm just like dazed, you know, whatever. The big fellow with the gun puts it to my head. He's just like, it does one of those. And he's like, I'll never forget, because he goes, I should put 2 in your head, you know, just like that.
Fuck.
And I turned around at the last second before I left, and I looked at the guy who I had the problem with. I was like, dude, like, why did you go this far? I basically only hit you once. And he points at his ear and he's like, I can't hear. He goes, I can't hear. He goes, you ruptured my eardrum. Get out of here. We're even. And he just goes, we're even. So I go out. My car's right there. My boy is out there who took me there. He's driving now. I get in the passenger seat. I haven't seen myself yet. So
do you remember the look he had on his face when you got back into the car?
He started crying, and this is a bookmaker. This is a guy that lives in that world. He starts like crying, like getting choked up. And I look at him, I go, is it bad?
Because I feel like I got one over on these pussies.
I go, is it bad? He goes, it's bad. I pull down the rear view mirror on my side, or the thing. I look at myself. I start crying uncontrollably, right to Cedars-Sinai Hospital. They whisked me into the emergency room because they think I had like a brain trauma, into a CAT scan unit. Somehow, by the grace of God, man, there was no bleeding on my brain. Put me into the emergency surgery thing. I go in there and they stitch me up, 27 stitches. And somehow I just came out of that. You know, obviously my boy who knows people in that world, he was able to get my phone and my license later that night. But they stitched me up. They kept me there for about 5 hours. I got a hold of my brother in Detroit. He got on a plane, flew to LA, and I was, I lived, obviously. I was okay. I suffered, massive post-traumatic stress disorder and paranoia for like maybe 5 years, to be honest, like a long time, to where anybody that looked shady or anybody I didn't know, I would have like a visceral reaction, and like I couldn't be in like a crowded spot. So it
How did you deal with that?
I saw a psychiatrist finally. Like I started seeing somebody because my brother was like, you're not yourself. You know what I mean? Like there's like like you're like the light is out in you. You don't want to go anywhere. You're afraid everywhere you go. You think this car over here is like got 2 guys in it. Because what happened was, once I started healing up and getting back out into the comedy world a little bit, I left out one little part of like when I called my godfather, he knew people that were in that world that were higher up than this guy in the mob world, basically. I went and saw them and I said, this is what happened. I'm just letting you know what happened. And they're like, we know who this guy is. He basically went against the rules, like we should have been notified. They were talking real movie shit. I'm not kidding. I'm sitting with a dude who's in that world, who's a 70-year-old man, and he's got like one of his soldiers there. And I'm talking about a dude who like has bowling ball shoulders and a tank top, and like a kind of guy that you don't see in public. Like my thought was like, yeah, this type of person doesn't go in the public. Like he's not even made for the public, like
this guy isn't even allowed outside his house because he just fucking terrifies everybody.
It was so heavy. So basically they said to me, what do you want us to do? Because they were looking if I wanted to go back and get revenge, And
this is because of an allegiance to your godfather and stuff?
It was an allegiance to, the people that they knew in their world that were really old school, high up guys that earned a lot of money in their day from like legendary families, so to speak. I basically obviously said, no, I am a comedian. I want to go back to work.
I got a call back for a Nabisco commercial. It's national. I need to get my SAG dues. Well, I'm always scared. Like that situation would always terrify me because I worry that like, you ever see a movie where like a Joe Pesci, I think in The Irishman, like after the scene where crazy Joe Gallo played by Sebastian does something and De Niro just kind of looks at Pesci and Pesci sort of thing. And that's like his signal, like kill him. I always would be scared that I would accidentally like be like, do a thing. They're like, oh, we're going to kill him. We're going to kill him. He said we're going to kill him. And then later on, you go to jail. Like, I was scratching my nose. Like, I wasn't fucking trying to have anybody killed.
Well, Mo, that's hilarious because you should do a short, because I kept thinking, like, finally I did write a piece to get it off my chest, because it really affected my life. Like, it really affected me, because he would send people, they would send people up to the comedy. I mean, I'll be straight with you. Like, there were people showing up at the Comedy Store that were in that world that if you saw them on the patio, you would know that they didn't belong at the Comedy Store. And so then I would call my guys and go, why are there people up here like this, man? Why? And they live in this world. So they're like, quit being so nervous. Quit being jumpy. You're fine. It's over. It's done.
And they were just doing that to just fuck with you. Just
show face, fuck with me a little bit, just to show face. It bothered me a lot. Bottom line was, I should not have punched that dude when I did. I had that moment where I could have walked away, but being a dumbass from Detroit with like who wanted to put an end to it and was actually scared that he was going to bite my face off, I took a swing, and it turned out bad. But it all became even. It was done. It became a legendary story in the underworld, to where I would be somewhere and someone would be like, some random stranger, like hood looking dude would be like, yo, man, I'm glad you're all right. Like, I'm glad to see you're okay. Because I got visited by the organized crime division multiple times, because they had somebody in their world that like snitched, and they wanted me to go against the guy and try to press charges. And I washed my hands of it. I never said a word about it. I never said.
What about when you walk into Cedars when your face is all bashed up, looking like the Elephant Man like that? Like,
The sheriff was there. I told him I got mugged. So I said that I got mugged. I just stuck to the mugging. I didn't say another word.
Right.
They kept pressing me. And even when the organized crime guys would show up at my house, they would bang. I was sitting on my couch with Kevin Connolly. This is like a Hollywood drop.
That's fucking
Kevin
amazing.
Connolly from Entourage.
Yeah.
On my couch reading a script. Bam, 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 bam. They're knocking on the door. Who is it? Police, open up. I'm not believing it that it's the police, because I'm just terrified of everything. I get a hammer. I grab a hammer. I'm like, I am not getting beat up again ever in my life. So I said, show me your badge. They show me the badge, organized crime division. They come in, they're like, they play good cop, bad cop on me, two of them. And they're like, you're going to go up against this guy. We've been going after him for 10 years. We know what happened. They said, if you don't do it, we're going to put you in jail.
Oh, shit.
That's how hardcore they were.
You're like, you looking at my face? I'm not going to fucking jail, dude.
Bro.
Meanwhile, Kevin's reading the script being like, man, Mike, your life's way better than this script. This script.
Kevin was so calm because his brother is an NYPD cop. So he already like knows a little bit about stuff like that. So they did their piece, their whole spiel. They did it. I said, thank you very much. I got nothing to say. I got mugged. They even had a picture of me from the hospital. They pulled out like a digital picture. They're like, oh, is this what happens to you when you get mugged? I was like, yeah, that's it. I got mugged. Then they had a picture of the guy and who they were looking to put away. And I just said, I don't know who that is. And I just never said a word about it. When they left, Connolly called his brother. I called his brother Tim, and I was like, yo, Tim, these guys they're gonna keep coming back at me. And he's like, listen, he was funny actually. He goes, every night before I go home to my family, I harass at least 4 guys like you.
Really?
He goes, you don't have to say a word. He goes, just be a gentleman. Thank you very much. And that's it.